Hi everyone, I am Monica Dwadasi, a Salesforce certified. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to work with Salesforce Textbook. Before going to start this section, please follow the basic protective measures against the coronavirus. For latest update, please follow WHO website. Stay safe and stay hygiene. As per today's section, we are going to discuss about the following topics. What is in-app guidance? What is prompts? What kind of prompts you can create with the help of in-app guidance? When and where to use prompts and how to create prompts. Now, before talking about in-app guidance, let's discuss a small part on user engagement. The Lightning user engagement consists of design guidelines for onboarding, adoption, assistance, and learning patterns across the Salesforce ecosystem through in-app guidance. Let me explain a small scenario on onboarding users. During early days, to engage users about the new product or feature in Salesforce application, this is done through training in webinars or creating hundreds of pages of release notes or sending e-newsletters. The user after this trial section, they may forget the flow or skip some important topics to be used in the application. To put the best practice, the best way to engage users is the admin should create some alerts to interact with them inside the application as they use it with the help of in-app guidance prompts. What is in-app guidance? In-app guidance is a new tool that allows admins to create and customize prompts to train and onboard users where and when they need help. So let's see in-app guidance in our Salesforce Lightning experience. So go to Salesforce Lightning experience, click on setup, and in the quick find box, enter in-app guidance. Okay, and then select in-app guidance. So this is the in-app guidance page where you can see the created prompts and where you can create a new prompt. So the admin, by clicking this add prompt button, the admin can create number of prompts. Okay, so what is prompt? A prompt alerts user to system related issues and updates. Prompts appears when the system needs to communicate a message to the user. So who works on prompts? All admins. All admins can add and edit prompts and give other users the ability to manage prompts by assigning them the manage prompts and modify metadata user permissions. So by this you can understand in-app guidance gives admins the ability to add and edit prompts declaratively. In addition, admins can write their own content, select the target audience, and specify where it appears and for how long it appears. Why prompts? As prompts alert users, prompts are not limited to onboard and train users. It can be used in different ways like highlighting configuration changes and news, introduce new features, and even more the way you think. Okay, so how many types of prompts? There are two types of prompts: floating prompt, docked prompt. Floating prompt. This is a short and sweet message and a call to action in the form of a button that opens a URL of your choice. This floating prompt can be placed in one of the six positions, that is top left, top center, top right, bottom left, bottom center, bottom right. Docked prompt. The docked prompt can be used for content that you want to remain on screen, such as step-by-step instructions or a short video that user can follow while learning how to complete a task in the app. Unlike the floating prompt, the docked prompt stays in a place while the user navigates throughout the app, that is the bottom right corner of a page. So now let's start creating the prompt. So go to Salesforce Lightning Experience and in-app guidance setup page, click on this add prompt button. So by clicking this add prompt button, there is a pop-up open prompt authoring bar. So you have to click on this open authoring bar. This prompt authoring bar helps us to configure your prompts. Means you can create and edit your prompts. So click on this open authoring bar. So by clicking on this open authoring bar, the prompt authoring bar will stick to the top of your application. So here, this is your prompt bar, and here you can see where this prompt authoring bar is placed. Like say now it is right under home page. Okay, if you click on accounts list page, the prompt authoring bar is under accounts list page. Okay, and this tells us how many prompts are created on this particular page. Okay, and this button, add prompt button, helps us to create your prompt under this account list page. Okay, now before you're creating prompt, you have to select the location of your prompt where you want to create. So here I am going with opportunity list page. So I am selecting the opportunity list page. Okay, now here the admins want to alert the user regarding a new release about pin list view. Okay, the admin want to alert the user regarding a new release about pin list view. So let's start creating the prompt by clicking the add prompt button. So click this add prompt button and select the type of the prompt, a floating prompt or doc prompt. I'm going with floating prompt and click next. So as you know, the floating prompt has 6 positions. You can select any one of the position. I am going with top center. Okay, next profile. Here, see, while creating a prompt, you should know your prompt settings regarding profiles, permissions and schedule settings. For profiles, if the prompt doesn't apply to a specific group of users, then simply select no profile restriction. If you want the prompt applies to specific set of users, then define the audience, where here you can add your audience by adding a required profiles. Okay, so by adding these profiles, this set of user can view this prompt. Okay, so here we are going with no restriction. So simply check this radio button, no profile restriction, and next. The same thing in permission. If the prompt doesn't apply to a specific group of users, simply select no restriction radio button. If you want the prompt applies to a set of users, then define the audience here by adding your required permission sets. Okay, so you add this any one of your permission sets like standard or custom permissions, and so that the prompt is visible to this set of users. Okay, here we are going with no permission restriction. So simply check this radio button. So you can select a combination up to of up to 10 profiles and permissions. Okay, so click on next. Content. Okay, this is where the admin can create his own content. So Title. The title of the content. Did you know? You can write your own content. And the body. The body is with pinned list. With pinned list. You can make any list. You can make any list your new default. Okay, new default. To pin an unpinned list, to pin an unpinned list, just click on pin icon. Just click on pin icon. So this is the message which is visible on the prompt to the particular set of users. Okay, and here dismiss button. So to dismiss the prompt you need a button. So with help of this dismiss button label you can enter your label like OK. Okay. If the admin want to give more information regarding the prompt by giving an access to particular URL, then simply enable this action button. So by enabling this action button you can enter your URL. The label is learn more and enter your specified URL regarding to that prompt. So I'm copying paste the URL here and then next. So by this the content is created for your prompt. Click on next. Now schedule settings. So schedule settings means to specify when to make the prompt active. Okay. So you need to select some date range like start date and end date. If you don't select a start date, the default is the current date. If the prompt is for a time period, then add an end date. Okay. So here I'm going with for 1 week. Okay. And next is frequency. Means frequency is nothing but for reoccurring the prompt. If you want to reoccur the prompt, you should define your frequency. Select frequency to specify the number of times to show the prompt and the days in between occur. See, like here, if you specify 3 times, it asks like how many days in between. As you mentioned for 1 week, you can mention for 7 days. So the maximum time to show is like 30 times and maximum days in between is 30 days. Okay. And here you should enable this checkbox. Show prompt when the page loads. Okay. If you doesn't enable this checkbox, the prompt which you created is not visible immediately to the user. It takes up to 24 hours to be visible for the specified users. Why? Because by default, Salesforce provided a 24-hour delay or cooling off period between the prompts, which ensures that a user sees only one prompt per day per application. Okay? You can change the amount of time for the delay between all prompts under prompt settings on the in-app guidance setup page. So the delay time, you can change the delay time between the prompts in the prompt settings at the setup page of in-app guidance. So the delay, I will explain this delay time briefly in part 2. Here we'll just create the prompt. Okay. And the note here, if a user acknowledges the prompt by clicking the action button, the prompt won't be shown to that user again. even if there are more reoccurrence schedules. See, this is the reoccurrence schedules. Even you defined like 3 times or 4 times, if the user acknowledges the prompt won't be shown. I will explain in detail in practical regarding user acknowledgement. Okay, so now click on next. Details. Here you define the name of the prompt, that is list account, list view, here floating list. Okay, now click on save and preview button. So by clicking on this save and preview button, this is how your prompt looks. This is a preview of your prompt. Okay, and this is your dismiss button, and this is your action button, and this is your close button. Okay, and then done. So now let's see how it works. So before that, you need to close your prompt authoring bar, close, and refresh your opportunity list page. Okay, so see, so as I mentioned, you have to enable the checkbox like show the prompts whenever the page is loaded, right? So whenever you're loading your opportunity list page, the prompt is loading. If it doesn't check that checkbox, the prompt doesn't load immediately. It takes 24 hours to load. Okay, so here now regarding user acknowledgement. Okay, now the prompt is visible to the set of users. So first I'll explain without acknowledgement means if the user simply views this prompt and doesn't do any actions, like he doesn't click on this OK button, or he doesn't click on this learn more button, and simply he closes the prompt and then he goes on to create a new record in this opportunity list. And whenever he loads the opportunity list page, the prompt is visible to the user. Okay, so if a user doesn't acknowledge the content, see, if the user doesn't acknowledge the content, Salesforce continues showing the prompt until user acknowledges the prompt or until the specified end date, even if you set up the prompt to show only once. Okay, so right now I explained you like if the user doesn't acknowledge the prompt, it loads again. Okay, now let's see if the user acknowledges the prompt by clicking the OK button or by clicking the action button. We'll go with action button. So if you click on this action button, the URL which is specified by the prompt is loading. Okay, see the URL loaded. So by this, Salesforce detects that a user acknowledges the content. So Salesforce by default stops showing the prompt to the user after his acknowledgement, even if you have scheduled more occurrence. Okay, see, as I mentioned while creating the schedule settings in the prompt, 3 times for 7 days, right? So this prompt has been loaded for 2 times. Still it can load for 3 times. But here the user acknowledged the prompt. So the Salesforce understands that user understood regarding this prompt. So he doesn't require further reloading. So if the user refreshes the opportunity list button, now he directly goes into the opportunity list page and he creates his opportunity record. There is no prompt button loaded again. Okay, so this is how the acknowledgement works for your prompts. Okay, now let's create doc prompt. go back to in-app guidance, okay, and click on add prompt button. Okay, the pop-up is open. This is the open prompt authoring bar where you can configure your prompt. So click on open authoring bar. Okay, so here the prompt authoring bar, which is at the top of your application. And now first you have to select your location where you want to create your prompt. So here I'm going with account list to create the doc prompt. Here the admin alerts the user regarding some important changes on account record page. Okay, before the user creates an account record. Okay, so the admin will click on this add prompt button to create the prompt, and he selects the type of the prompt, that is doc prompt. Okay, when you click on the doc prompt, there is only one position, that is bottom right corner, right? So there is no position is visible. So click on next, and same profiles and permission settings. Here we are going with no profile restriction. If you want to specify any set of user, you have to simply add here. Okay, so here we are going with no profile restriction, and here the same, no permission restriction. If you want to specify specific set of permissions, you have to add here. Okay, here we are going with no permission restriction. The content, here the admin creates his own content. So here the header is important changes, and the title of the content is update to the account record, update to the account record. And here we are giving an video tutorial, right? So here you need to enter your video website. So simply I'm copying paste a URL from our channel. So simply copy paste. So what it says, the URL specified is not from a CSP trust type. So here, see this watch $V equals to. You have to remove this part and simply enter embedded /. So by entering this, you're configuring this YouTube URL video to doc prompt. Okay, now enter the content of the body. The content of the body, simply I will copy paste this. Okay, so now next. Okay, and here the schedule settings, the same settings, like if you want to select the date range, you have to enter your end date. So I'm giving for 3 days here, and if you specify the reoccurrence of your prompt, then you have to specify the frequency, how many times to show. Let's go for 4 times in 7 days, and you should enable this checkbox, or else it doesn't loads within 24 hours. Okay, then next. So details is record page, docked page. Okay, page, and click on save and preview button. So this is how our doc prompt preview looks. So here is the video, the training session for the particular update to the account record. So if the user clicks on this training section, he can view the training section. So here one more thing. If you want to edit any prompt to do some necessary changes, you can simply click on this edit button and you can do your necessary changes. But here one thing. The Salesforce by default doesn't allow you to change the type of the prompt. See, if you create a doc prompt, you should go with doc prompt and do your necessary changes in profiles, permissions, content, schedule and details. But you can't change your type of the prompt. You can't change into float prompt. Okay. Next. You can do any changes over here or anywhere and then simply save and preview. And then done. So this is how we have created our doc prompt. So let's see how it works. So close this prompt authoring bar and simply refresh your account list. Now, see. So this is how the user views the prompt. Okay. So he can maximize the prompt or he can restore the prompt. Okay. So click on this video button. So this is how our video session starts and he can follow the sessions for understanding the changes in our account record page. Okay. Then okay, done, and he can simply close this prompt. Okay. So by closing this prompt, he acknowledged the prompt, right? So Salesforce detects that a user acknowledged the content. So Salesforce stops showing the prompt to the user. Okay. See, if I refresh this account list page, as per the rule, the prompt shouldn't load again. Okay. See, the prompt didn't load. So this is how we created the floating prompt and doc prompt with the help of in-app guidance. Right? So, for few more examples, please go through the help Salesforce document. So by this, we have just completed the part 1 in-app guidance. Okay. So in part 2, you will come through how to set the delay time in prompt settings and how to monitor the prompts and how to analyze the prompts by creating reports. Okay. And these are the reference links. You can go through this. Thank you. Please subscribe to Salesforce Tech.